today I'm going to show you how I'm going to format encrypt this particular drive that I am looking to replace all my SanDisks with. I have one right now. I may be ordering another one depending on how things look, the speed, but this is what I am going to replace my main SanDisk 2 terabyte drive with, and that SanDisk will now become the secondary backup drive for now, and it may just go away altogether. It really just depends on how things play out in the next little bit of time. So what we're going to do, let's go to move this way, and here is my disk utility. You should be able to know how to do that. Get the disk utility up, and this Seagate BUP portable, that is the hard drive that I use, that I have connected to my Mac all the time, and it just does backups. And that one has been on there for a couple years, so I may need to replace that. I do try to only keep my drives for about 3 years because I would rather spend a little bit of money and not have a drive die. The older drives you can do as backups, you can do something else, but the main drives, I want to make sure I'm never going to lose anything. So I am going to go ahead and plug this new drive in, and you'll see it probably pop up over here. Yeah, there we go. The WD Game Drive Media, WD Black. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to erase this. And I am going to call this Fast SSD Working Files. So that is what I use for my day-to-day files. I don't really store that much on my computer. I use this because then I can easily back it up and I can take it with me, take it from the desktop that I'm on to my laptop if I'm going away or if I'm going off-site and I need some of those files. So we're going to have that. We're going to say APFS encrypted, and it's going to ask for this password. So I'm going to go ahead and type this password in, and then I'll be back because I don't want you to hear me type because, well, you might be able to figure out my password. Okay, now that I have the password in, I'm going to press choose and APFS encrypted. There we go. And we're going to say erase, and it's going to go through and do what it does. And that's it. So, you know, it was pretty fast, pretty easy to do. Now, with that, let me open that drive. It mounts on the desktop. And we have these fast SSD working files. Now, the next part that I'm going to go through is how this is part of in the class, but I'm just going to show you here because my files that I work with here, you know, they're ones that I access all the time. There are some that I want to have an encryption of an encryption, so that if I walk away from my desktop, then this structure, this hard drive will be mounted. Anything that's on the top level or in a folder can be accessed. Unless I dismount it, anybody walking up to my laptop, my desktop, will be able to access these. But if the really important files, like investments, taxes, and for sure your 24 words, and anything that's very sensitive that you don't want anybody to break into, we're going to do another encrypted drive. So we're going to move this one over here, and you can't see it, but let me stop the video and I'll move things over. So I moved things over so that you could see the drop-down menus. But if you have your drive already created, already, you know, encrypted files and folders, you won't need to do this part, but I'm showing for anybody starting new. I'm basically just going to be copying everything over from my old drive to my, from my old SanDisk solid state drive to the new WD Black, and that should be pretty fast. I'll show you how fast it is as compared to doing it to the spindle drive at 5400 RPM. So what I'm going to do is show you how to create a new encrypted file. Sorry, it's a file, but it's a folder, and you'll see what I mean. So we're going to go under, let's see, new image, blank image, and we're going to see, let's see, that's my Mac. We're going to go into fast SSD working files. That's what I just created. We're going to have something that says important files. Name whatever you want. You can use the same name here as here. This name, and you'll see in the next video about the spinning drive, which is what I did first. This is the name that will show up as a mounted drive. So depends on what you're going to store in this file. Sorry, this folder. It's one what looks like a file. When you mount it, it becomes, you know, its own real folder / hard drive. So you may want only 100 megs. It may be that you're just putting your 24 words and you don't need that much. But know that this size is the limit. It's not what is created when we make changes down here. It'll start out like 38 megs, and then it'll grow as you put files in. Now, if you get to the point where you just create one, you're like, oh, I'm running out of space. Well, just create a new one and then copy the contents from the old drive that you're basically creating to the new one. So we're going to actually create something called a sparse bundle disk image, which will allow you to, when you open this file, it's going to open a hard drive on your desktop, and then it'll look like just a regular hard drive that you can do things with. We'll create, let's just do 200 megs just to be wild and crazy. But here is the important difference. Nope, it's not that. We're going to leave APFS. We're going to do the encryption. And so when you hit 256-bit encryption, it's going to ask you to do a password. So I'm just going to do a simple one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please make it more complex than this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to say choose. Now, oh, that's interesting. Usually this drops back down to 100 megs when you make a change. But when you press save, it's going to go ahead and create that drive, that file, which you can then nest your information into, so that if someone gets to your desktop, they have to get another password to open your important files. And think about this. Let's say you do a nested encrypted folder for your 24 words. You know, the more important things that are important to you in your life, like your 24 words, which really has everything to do with the money side of things, I would do inside an encrypted drive, inside of a encrypted drive, just so that you don't have to worry about that. The passwords can be different, but one thing to really remember, there is no lost password feature. If you forget this password, you are not going to get into this drive. It's 256-bit encryption. You do not have the technology, nor is there really an easy technology to get your password back. So be careful, write it down, put it in different places, and make sure you don't lose it. So we're going to press save. There we go. It was created and it was mounted. Let me move this just, you can see this is an Apple sparse bundle, important files. That's what was created. And I'm going to move that over so you can see it. Oop. Don't want to show that. And there's the important files. When you double click on it, it opens and you can put screen recording if you want. So it, you know, copied things over just like a regular hard drive. And if you close it and then you look at get info, then you'll see that it has, yeah, the one file that went on there, and that's capacity, and you just want to make sure that it's big enough for your needs. So that's the easy one. And if you have any questions, comments, you can email them in. It's support tickets only, and or down below, and hopefully we'll answer any of those questions. Thanks. I'll show you this. You know how it took hours. It was close to it was almost 24 hours copying all that stuff on the very slow drive, and you'll see that in a future video about the spinning disk technology. This is going to take like 39 minutes when you do solid state to solid state, and that's why I really went everything solid state, but let's keep different technologies, so if one fails, we have a backup. So yeah, 39 minutes instead of, almost a full day. Thanks.